good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Welcome back. If you have been in here already this morning, hump day, to say hello. And I was doing the Next Gen NYC roundup updates all the way up to episode 8 and through BravoCon. So thank all of you who are back. American Born is back. Thank you so much for joining me during the live American Born. I appreciate you as always. We have Ro_GP who came in here. Hello, Ro. Good morning. Usually I see my friend Ro over at Heart and Hustle Houston. It is great to see you during the live. So we're just doing a roundup of Bravo Extras, and I appreciate you so much coming in here. Thank you. Great to see you. So if you can look at the ladies, see the screen next to me. I'm excited for them to come back. And y'all, I was kind of annoyed with this group when they were coming back. AB is speaking to Ro. So the group that is coming back, Real Housewives of Potomac. And as we all know, they had a season that I thought went pretty terribly for Angel. Our girl Angel was, for me, mistreated. I don't think she was ushered in under the correct circumstances. So it was kind of a grand opening, grand closing for Angel Ra, which you can find her over there on Threads. She's on IG. She has an HG type show, which is a better fit. So she came in, she left, and that's where that is. But Real Housewives of Potomac, I was kind of annoyed to the point I wasn't going to watch him. Now I'm kind of looking forward as to what they're going to do. And I bring that up. Welcome in, Sharon Gobble. Welcome in. AB is saying hello. Welcome, Deborah Randall. Thank you for coming in. Ro_GP was already in here. American Born is here. Ophelia Burkhalter. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, Angel landed on her feet. She did American Born. I wanted her back. I had Sandra P's cloak of immunity over her. It just didn't work. And again, these Housewives shows are not for anyone. So I mentioned Heart and Hustle Houston. That is our own show. And that went in a different direction. So when we see any of the, okay, now we're naming this person, we're all going to focus on this person, it gets a little bit tough. It gets a little bit tough. I mentioned that because usually I'll see Ro at a Heart and Hustle review, but she came here for the Bravo kind of roundup. So we're doing extras with Sandra P. We're roaming the social media streets. And first up, yes, y'all, that is Ashley Bobblehead Darby. Y'all know I can't stand Ashley Darby usually, but I don't have anything negative toward Ashley Darby right now because she's with our lovely Stacey Brash, who is in her second season. This is her third season upcoming. I'm looking forward to it. The beautiful girl to Stacey's immediate left is her daughter, Arabella, and they are all having a play date. Those are Ashley's two white men that she had with Michael Darby. So these two little boys are a trip. I don't know what their name are. What their names are. I can't remember them. Ashley and Michael's two mini-me's that I know they always got their feet on the counter or they're walking on the counter or they're doing something crazy. But there they are. There they are. Everyone is laughing probably at Ashley Darby. And Ro_GP is speaking to everyone that comes in and speaks to her. So welcome her in. Oh, y'all laughing at Bobblehead? That's what we call Ashley Darby. You can't hurt Ashley Darby's feelings. I don't think she minds. I don't think she knows, but if she knew, I don't think she would mind. And AB is saying, I wonder how Stacey's going to be this year now that she has remarried. Yes, her and Timu have remarried. We're going to see, I think, a little bit of the wedding on the show. I feel like most of the ladies attended. So I think that's pretty good. AB said it. Those boys are wild. I was trying not to say that, but American Born just spit it out. Yes, those boys are wild. And I don't know what they got going on over there. I think it's more of a Ashley just being so, I won't say hands off because there she is at a whole play date with Stacey, but I think that is honestly the non-melanated side of her. And also Michael Darby, I can't see him disciplining anybody. He's too busy out here chasing. Okay. And he has a type. He like the Juan Dixon type with big dimples, big other things. Yeah, good looking black men. So Michael Darby, keep it up, but also try to discipline your sons because they give Ashley a hard time over there. Everybody is laughing and speaking to each other. Okay, so that's it. That's for Real Housewives of Potomac. Welcome back, ladies. Angel landed on her feet, as American Born said. She is thriving on an HG type show. Follow her on Instagram. Her and Big Fine Bobby, the Brown Mountain Man, are out there in Denver. They're between Denver and Potomac, and he is still loving on Angel. She posted a date night or something that they had. I should have had that picture up, but that's okay. I may be able to end with that. All right, we have another group of ladies that I love. They're over on Reddit loving Cynthia Bailey's new song, which is called The Peach Life. And we got to see Andy Cohen. He loved it as well. Andy loved the song as well. It's called The Peach Life, and it's kind of techno. They call it EDM, and Cynthia was doing the thing. And the group stopped fighting for a second to kind of shake, rattle, and roll a little bit. So we love to see it. Let me share that. I'll go back. And I'll probably have to stop it. There's Kay Michelle getting ready to shake her money makers. Go on, Kay.
Sweet life, the peach life. I'm so juicy, you can't seduce me. If you bite it, you're gonna like it. Sweet life, the peach life. Sweet life, the peach life. Life.
Look at Andy. Oh, Andy's talking about drop it. Let me rewind it. Everybody's shimmering, shimmy, and we see Shamia shake, rattle, and roll. Pinky, I love Pinky's full face. We know Pinky's pregnant. She looks adorable pregnant. Oh, here we go.
Sweet life, the peach life. I'm so juicy, you can't seduce me. If you bite it, you're gonna like it. Sweet life, the peach life. Sweet life, the peach life. Now what else is going on? Sweet life, the peach life. I'm so juicy, you can't seduce me. If you bite it, you're gonna like it. Give it up to Cynthia.
Cynthia Don't Get Me. I don't know where else that song is streaming, but somebody shared it on Reddit, and I also saw it on IG. So y'all, wasn't that the cutest thing? The cast, they have been ripping each other's mama's heads off. And when Cynthia Bailey and her cheekbones came out and they started playing that song, everybody just went crazy, including Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen, so put more respect on the Real Housewives of Atlanta name, because everybody mentioned Andy's up, he's engaged, he loves it, he loves that cast. Well, then go ahead and respect the cast as OGs that they are. And we needed to see Nene Leakes more than just that one little episode on Ultimate Girls Trip, because they put the whole Real Housewives franchises, to me, on the map. Vicky, I don't know what you're talking about over here, that you're the OG of the OC, and if not for her, I'm not hearing any of that. It's Atlanta all day, every day, all the time, and ushered in other shows, own shows now. Americans laughing. Is Juan going to make an appearance, I wonder? They're remarried. Robin is back. But I don't know, when Robin had her, what do they call those? The chandelier, whatever it is they're holding, their wine glasses. The flute, when she had her flute before, he was annoyed. I'm ordering that song. AB, I might have to stream it as well, because that's just something fun in the car. It's loud. It would just, you'll start shimmying like Shamia. Y'all know Shamia had to start shimmying. Kay Michelle had to put her little girls on display as well. Go Cynthia. Yes, Sharon Gabo. I'm excited for Cynthia. She loves it. Cynthia has had a resurgence, a renaissance. So come on, Cynthia. Cynthia has always been that girl. But we know she was kind of struggling when she first came on RHOA. And now she's back with a vengeance, even as friend of. And I think she likes it better as friend of. And she's doing a great job. AB says they are already telling Kyle Cook he better be playing that on his DJ sets. I know he does kind of that, baby don't hurt me no more type music, kind of like beat up the beat type stuff. But this is EDM or techno, as they call it. He could slide right in. Ro_GP says, I'm glad Cynthia's stepping out her box. I love it. And you know what? Ro_GP, another person who does that, Phaedra Parks, you can have like 5, 6, however many streams of income. And Cynthia's doing that because when she was friend of, she was helping Peter out back when she was married. She was doing a lot of other things where money was going out. Now we got a flow coming in. She got her podcast over here with Crystal. She has now this song. She's always invited to guest on shows. I was talking about it earlier because we brought up Next Gen NYC. Her daughter Noelle, her name is ringing bells. She might get called on Next Gen LA. And honestly, that's the first name I heard associated with Next Gen LA. Now I'm not hearing anything about Noelle, and they're naming all these other people's kids. So Cynthia, use those connections and make sure Noelle ends up where she needs to end up, because I don't like when they do that. I don't want us to be overlooked for somebody else. So let me see, another good place to start. Well, we've started. A good place to get to would be Noelle. I follow Noelle on IG, and I want to go ahead and pull up her page because she had a bunch of stuff going on. She has a lot of brand deals and things like that. So if Next Gen NYC has their influencers on there, we know we have Amira, Gia makes money doing that. I want to see our internet niece Noelle able to do the same thing. So let me pull up her IG and I will show you what Noelle has going on. Of course, she's so photogenic. Both her parents have cheekbones that were just chiseled, and that's Cynthia and also Leon, Mr. One Name, Leon. So let me share her tab. This is just the IG. She's almost at 500,000 followers, and she doesn't even have exposure like Gia or Amira or any of that. So I think this is great for her. Let's see what else she has going on here. Now, they don't organize it in any time frame, so I'll just like go through a few. I'll go through a few and add her to stage. There she is. We can see what Noelle is up to. So some of her brand deals, that's probably last summer. Let me see if we can get anything more recent. She is so photogenic. Look at Noelle. Gorgeous. This is somebody else we watch almost grow up on TV. Now, what are they just going to show me that one photo shoot? Noelle, I need to see more than that. Let's see. So she has a bathing suit. I know she does athletic wear too. Let me go back to see how this is actually laid out. Okay, it'll just show one whole photo shoot. She looks amazing. She looks amazing in anything she puts out there. Noelle Robinson, we want to see you on Next Gen LA. AB was in the last live, which was Next Gen NYC, and the name has not been affiliated with it yet, even though she was the first one I heard mentioned. Now they're saying Shaq's son, one of Kyle's daughters, somebody else, I don't know who it is, but Cynthia Bailey's Noelle better be on there if that's what she wants. I love it. Her mom shared it. Of course, I know that's right, Cynthia. I would share my baby stuff too. Okay, let me see. Let's see if there's anything else I can put out here. Y'all, let me go back to the home. I don't know why it doesn't show more. And again, I'm just on IG very little. There's Portia on something. Let me look at this. What is Portia on? I'm sorry, y'all. You know, sometimes something else will pull my attention away. Okay, this looks like a street interview. She's going to be doing certain sounds.
Owes you an apology.
My girlfriend, late at night, she not only orders the food, but she takes the towel, hits it on the bed, lays everything out, and then I just feast.
She feeds you.
Yeah, too much.
What's one thing that you wish you were famous for?
I wish I was famous for being Atlanta's #1 stripper.
Never too late.
You got the one.
What's the greatest read you've ever given?
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Portia. Okay, bye, Ashley.
Have a nice day.
Bye, Ashley.
Because it was so damn accurate. That level of ash, accumulated dust upon one's heel.
What's an unhinged essential item for a girl's trip?
Bring an extra pair of panties. You just never know who may need that on an ultimate girls trip.
That's so loving.
How about your panties and your hair?
What's your favorite lyric?
Montel Jordan, it's Friday night and I feel alright.
Okay, y'all. Portia is taking my attention away. I was talking about Noelle. I'm trying to get back to her page. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that. Cece, before you came in, I was showing Noelle. So there's a few comments. Noelle's so beautiful. Yes, Sharon Gabo, she is. Bro_GP, giving top model. Absolutely. She got the cheekbones, honestly. Between Leon and Cynthia Bailey, she could not go wrong. So we were talking about CC. We were bringing up where is Noelle's name on the Next Gen NYC. And I was showing her page and a few of the photo shoots that she had up. And then I got sidetracked by Portia, the way I was searching IG. But thank you for joining The prices aren't too bad at Sharon Gobbo. Just looked it up. CC. What pricing is that, AB? Not eating in a bed on a towel. I have raised bamboo trays. Bougetto. Portia doesn't mind being Bougetto. We know that. And Sway trying to fatten her up. Sway, what you trying to do over there? Over there on that private jet, feeding Portia. I love it. I think that's funny. So Portia has her love weight on, and now we are understanding why. Faye is feeding her in the bed. Sway, that's a little much. That's too much. But Sway has one of those athletic builds, so she probably feel like Portia can do what she can do. But no, Sway, she cannot. All right, let me go. Again, I was showing Noelle. Maybe we'll end with that. I'll get back to her page and we'll show that. So we'll go back to the other RHOA related stuff. And it wasn't just RHOA. This is a Bravo's Extra. So that's what will end up, the Bravo's Extra. We already know that the cast is a cast, as Andy Cohen showed us. I already had that queued up. So I'll go ahead and show that. Andy's telling us on his radio show, Sirius.
What a preview of next season of Atlanta. Look at this cast. This is the group, guys. I mean, we love this group. So, spoiler alert, we're very happy. And as you can see from the reunion, I was very happy. There are a lot of casting rumors online which came out over the weekend, and I'm going to tell you that they're not true. And I am going to tell you that if you want a preview of next season of Atlanta, look at this cast. This is the group, guys.
Okay, so Andy said, forget what you heard. He said, that is the group. The cast is the cast. And y'all know how I am. I don't have to like everybody to want them back. I'm a little, not disappointed, but just like indifferent about the ensemble. There wasn't anybody I really wanted to fire. The names that always come up, of course, people cannot stand Shamia and don't want her there. But she's a nemesis to Portia. If Portia's going to be in charge of the girls, she has to have someone willing to go against her. Right now, that is Shamia. So I don't mind that being the cast. Kelly, can't stand Kelly's big mouth, jumping up to get knocked down, always yakking and talking on top of everybody else and just being too loud, too everything. I don't mind Kelly, y'all. She's showing up in her confessionals with the Tom Ford t-shirt on, or I think it's from a Hanes 3-pack, but go off, Kelly, if you're claiming they Tom Ford. That's fine, but we need a shameless person. That person's Kelly. And Pinky's a train wreck altogether. I never wanted Pinky fired. So I think it's great. The cast as it is, I don't have a problem with it. AB says, I just looked up Noelle and Malouf kids. Adrienne Malouf's kids were asked to be on Next Gen LA. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about money, pedigree, people with actual personalities we already know of. Those would be 3 great additions because I think the boys are twins. So I like to hear that, American Born. But again, when I was looking at that other article, they were naming everybody but Noelle. And I didn't see Adrienne Malouf's kids either. Thank you. I'm going to pull that up while we're live. I appreciate that, AB. I appreciate it. Cece says, I'll continue to side-eye Pinky Toe. Y'all, that's Pinky Cole, the proprietor of the, as Phaedra Parks was calling them, radioactive vegan burgers. Woo. I'll continue to side-eye Pinky Toe until the details about the incident between her and Phaedra are released. I had some updates on that. We did a whole Godfather overview. It's only about 20 minutes. And it was the fact that I feel like Phaedra Parks, who she has made some missteps in the past, she's not my favorite, but I have to respect her work ethic and her hustle. Phaedra going to keep 5-6 jobs and streams of income, if nothing else. And I think a lot of the other ladies can take notes from her on how she uses this platform. I love what she's doing. I didn't like hearing there was a PowerPoint about AB. I don't either. I don't like it at all. But Phaedra is friends with people that have, someone sent something. I'm going to pull it up and we'll look through it. I forgot about the Malouf kids. Their family has money. Oh, see, they do. In Beverly Hills. Now, Adrienne Malouf is Beverly Hills OG. Remember, her and Linda Vanderpump lived across the street from each other. But Andy was joking about when they would film, the driveways were so long, it would be like a real scene. They show Adrienne coming out of her house like, I'm going to poke my head out and say hello. But it's not with me and my neighbor. It was estates. Lisa Vanderpump and Adrienne Malouf had 100% AB said money, and they lived on actual estates. So y'all, I would love that. I would love to see if they are able to get Adrienne Malouf's kids and also Noelle Robinson. If that's something that she wants to do, I'd love it. AB sent it to me, so let me see if I can pull that up while we're still on that topic. And then I had another Bravo related something that we're talking about. Okay, so this looks like it was from Reality. Let me add it. All right, and it's Yahoo. This is entertainment, Yahoo Entertainment. So they pulled it from Reality. There's the gorgeous Cynthia Bailey, Adrienne Malouf and Cynthia Bailey's kids approached for Next Gen NYC series. And again, this is from Watch What Happens Live. It looks like last summer. That's when I first started hearing rumors of that show, when the numbers were doing what they were doing and everybody was like, oh, this show's actually going to be something. And people start jockeying for position, trying to get their kids out there. These are the first group of names that were coming up. Their moms have history with the franchises, and there's real family, either a pedigree or and money. So it looks like the Next Gen universe might be getting bigger following the launch of Next Gen NYC. Producers were allegedly scouring Los Angeles for a new crop of housewives, Nepo babies. Y'all, I was getting on nepotism babies this morning because of that old lazy Brooks Marks. But I'm for Adrienne Malouf's kids and also Cynthia Bailey's daughter. So y'all, let's see what happens with this. These two together. We know they have affiliation. They also worked on Cynthia Bailey's Tequila project together. And Adrienne helped fund the trip that Cynthia hosted in Dallas. So Cynthia and Adrienne spilled the tea about the potential Next Gen LA series. June 26th episode. Yeah, this was last summer though. Of SiriusXM's Jeff Lewis live. And we don't know if they're supposed to give the info, but they did. Y'all, I'm just editorializing while I quickly read it because AB just sent this to me and I appreciate that. You're really valuable and I really love when you do that, American Born. It helps me a lot. So the Real Houses of Beverly Hills alum shares 3 kids with Dr. Paul Nassif. We know that he, of course, is a doctor over there with Terry Dubrow, who is Heather Dubrow of OC's husband. Heather Dubrow, we know, has her eye on Beverly Hills for years. She wants to be over there. So Adrienne's twins are now 19. Is that kind of young for Next Gen NYC? No. 22-year-old Gavin. Okay, then, and the 19-year-old twins. So all 3 of them? They're going to have 3? I don't know. Adrienne, you can't have 3 of your kids over here. So I think it would be the 22-year-old, which would be Gavin. The 19-year-old twins, Colin and Christian, I don't know. Aren't they still in college? Cynthia chimed in. Her 25-year-old daughter, Noelle, had been contacted by producers. However, the Real Houses of Atlanta star said her daughter was on the fence about signing up for reality TV. American Born, you had mentioned that. Okay, that's the only thing that I'd be okay with when I don't hear her name mentioned. I don't know what Noelle wants to do yet. It's totally her decision. It's her choice. She's been watching Next Gen NYC. I've just been like, keep watching it and see how you feel about it. Now, if she watched first season and it says she was watching it, I don't think she'd be excited to sign up for the Riley Burris treatment. But I think that Noelle is a little more grounded and level-headed, and I could actually see her thriving if she wants to do that. All right, let's see. AB says, it would have been cool to have both of their kids, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see how the cast shakes out. I think that would be really cool. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that if both of their kids would join. All right, let's go back to another extra. This is from the Jasmine Brands. And of course, these people are going to be in the news for the duration. We have part 3 of their reunion coming up. But the first lady I show is not even on the reunion, but she likes to keep herself relevant as far as this cast goes. Kandi Burruss. Kandi, you can't tell me you don't want to be back over here, but You said you won't work with Phaedra. She's made up with Portia. She went to one of Portia's weddings. So, Candy, you're a little two-faced as far as that goes. All right. K. Michelle clarifies. Mean Girls of Atlanta comments says she wasn't speaking about Candy Burris. Of course you weren't, K. Michelle. K. Michelle is kind of a scaredy cat. There's certain people that she won't go against. Now, I feel like because even though Candy is friends with a group of ladies that she don't like, Rashida, Mimi, people like that, K. Michelle she's kind of a coward. I mean, she'd jump up, but she's not doing anything. And now she's trying to absolve Candy. But Candy is over with that whole other group of girls, so I don't know what she's talking about. Kay says, and this looks like either Twitter or IG, not your mean self being fair. You're absolutely right. I've been calling the same two girls mean girls for years. She's answering Kempire, y'all. Kempire is not fair. He's pretty objective. I mean, he's not unfair. He's pretty objective, and he's not mean. So she's saying, not your mean self being fair. He must have correctly criticized her, and then she got annoyed. Kempire says, in all fairness, I don't think K. Michelle was calling Candy a mean girl. She was calling her friends. So, yeah, that's true. So she must have agreed with him. Okay, we don't really care like that. Part 3 is coming up. I'm looking forward to it, but in the same token, I'll be glad when it's over. The Jasmine brand, K. Michelle setting the record straight last night. The country star, now she's a country star. Congratulations, Puddin'. Jesus and West Sky. The country star clarified that RHOA alum Candy Burris wasn't who she was referring to when she spoke about the Mean Girls of Atlanta with her Bravo co-stars. When someone suggested Kay was actually talking about Candy's friends, she responded on X, you're absolutely right. I've been calling the same two girls Mean Girls for years. Y'all, we already knew that. So Candy sat down with Big Tigger Morning Show, Francesca Amica, and addressed the comment, how she felt about it. Mean girls can't call other mean girls mean girls. It doesn't work like that. If I was a mean girl, she was a mean girl too. Candy Burris, you were a mean girl. You can be a mean girl, and you do use your friends weaponized against other people. We know that. I think Shamia, I'll just say this. Here's what I think about the whole Candy Burris being a mean girl thing. I think that Shamia was coached by Candy and not very well, because Candy's not even on the show. So Shamia, why would you listen to Candy about what your actions should be? And I think that Shamia's having a hard time that she is trying to listen to Candy about what she needs to do on that show. It's kind of crazy. So Kay needs to stop engaging the way she is on Twitter and put all of that into her confessionals and the actual show. Cece says Noelle has done well on social media. She's bought a home in LA. She's doing well. Yeah, I think she might have been a little wary just kind of seeing the Riley Burris treatment. But in fairness, I do think that Riley is not as well equipped to be out there the way that Noelle would be. Riley got more of a trial by fire. I'd love to see where Noelle comes with that. AB is laughing. Is that my K. Michelle impression? Cece says Kempire's not mean at all. So I think Kay was referring to Rashida and Toya. That's who I think she was referring to, because Rashida was the one, and I thought this was trifling of Rashida. She kind of discounted K. Michelle's experience with Memphis outright. Oh, I don't think he beat you. I don't think. What would you know about it, Rashida? I believed it. I believe he did put hands and feet on her. And then she said he spent a lot of her advance. And she owed the record company money. She had a terrible experience. So I believe Kay when it came to that. AB says 100% at CC. Yeah, I think the group of mean girls was Rashida and Toya. And then Toya, what happened? Years later, she's thinking she's protected because she's Lil Wayne's baby mama and nothing's going to happen to her. But Memphis did what? Put hands and feet on her, and some financial impropriety may have happened as well. So y'all, that's crazy. Cece said on the flip side, I think Candy's an undercover mean girl. If she wasn't, her team would not be so emboldened to act and speak on people the way they do. Cece, she weaponizes her team against people. Even on RHOA, Karma would be there. Don Juan loved to put his mouth on other women, and Candy would just be sitting there like, huh. But Cece's right. They do feel emboldened to talk about. They've done it to Portia. Other people that Candy falls out with, she doesn't sit there and go, rah, rah, rah. She lets the team do it. But make no mistake about it, she's providing her platform enabled to attack other people, enabling them to attack other people. AB says, I agree. And then she was the whole one that started just having her own speak on it. She'll go after the show and be able to spin her narrative. Whereas Married to Medicine's creator, Mariah Huck, she tried to start going live and stuff after Married to Medicine just to get her side of things out there. And Andy had a problem with it. Andy didn't want her to go live and do that. So Candy Burris has, she's been an undercover mean girl, in my opinion, from what I've seen over the years. And I do like Candy for the most part. I like her work ethic. I love her as a part of Escape, but sometimes she did get on my nerves when she would do that undercover mean girl thing, because I think that is the epitome of throwing the rock, hiding your hand. I think it's a cowardly way to be. Just come out, say it with your chest. If that's how you feel, Don Juan loves to come out and attack. AB, he has a whole YouTube page where that's all he does. He acts like he is, well, I get to talk about the shows too. I've been on reality TV. Yep, Don Juan, you absolutely do. But you always end up talking about the people that you don't like. And I think putting Candy's viewpoints out there as well. Have I been over there and watched him? Yes, I have. Am I a subscriber and a faithful viewer? No, I'm actually not. He gets on my nerves. He really gets on my nerves. Now, I didn't mind him on Candy and the Gang, but I don't really care for him. Okay, let me see. We have another reunion related. We covered it, but I forgot this little part because the insults were flying.
Restaurant business business
what is the profit margin
3 years.
for
They don't last
radioactive
past
burgers?
3 years. So for Bobby Brown.
Call Bobby Brown.
Anyway,
if
so-
I was a bad
what I
attorney,
was
baby,
saying-
I was with Bobby
what I
Brown
was
for 8
saying is,
years.
as an
I think he could have
entrepreneur,
replaced
if
me.
you know anything about the restaurant business business
what is the profit margin
3 years.
for
They don't last
radioactive
past
burgers?
3 years. So for Bobby Brown.
Call Bobby Brown.
Anyway,
if
so-
I was a
so
bad
what I
attorney,
was
baby,
saying-
I was with.
Okay, y'all, did y'all hear Phaedra? Now, Pinky was using Cynthia's read. Right before that, she said, win a case. Cynthia said that a decade ago, so that was a little corny. And then she says, call Bobby Brown. Now, as a Bobby Brown King of Stage fan, I've been telling y'all forever, Bobby always brings up, every time Phaedra Park represent me, I went to jail. But that came up at the reunion. So she said, call Bobby Brown. And then she said, I'll tell you about the restaurant business. And Phaedra said, what is the shelf life of radioactive burgers? So I missed that Phaedra said that to her. Phaedra's quick with it, y'all. Very quick. But I'll give it to Pinky. Pinky, you didn't win that argument either, just like you didn't win the one in Dallas. But Pinky was coming back fast and furious, breathing a little heavy because she is pregnant, but I thought she looked beautiful. Let me show a little bit of that again.
They don't last
radioactive
past
burgers.
3 years. So for Bobby Brown.
Call Bobby Brown.
Anyway,
if
so-
I was
so
a bad
what I
attorney,
was
baby,
saying-
I was with Bobby
what I
Brown
was
for 8
saying is,
years.
as an
I think he could have
entrepreneur,
replaced
if
me.
you know anything about the restaurant business business
what is
don't
the
last
profit
past
margin
3 years.
for
They don't last
radioactive
past
burgers?
3 years. So for Bobby Brown.
Did y'all see Andy Cohen sit up? She said, what's the profit margin for radioactive burgers? Pinky's telling her they don't last past 3 years. But what Phaedra was trying to get Pinky to understand, Pinky's been very nonchalant and she don't really care about this whole bankruptcy thing, trying to turn it into something that is a little bit cute and not anything that she should be ashamed of. I'm not saying she should be ashamed about it, other than the children's dental bills. I had a real problem with that because somewhere along the way, somebody is missing their money. They need their money. Now, I did Phaedra's Godfather underutilization by Bravo. They left scenes, y'all, on the cutting room floor between her and Senator Raphael Warnock, between her and Representative Jasmine Crockett, between Apollo Naida's oldest son that he just met last year and his introduction to their sons within the marriage, Dylan and Aiden. And I have a problem with that because they were making her look like, why she even have a peach? She needs to be friend of. But let me show you, somebody sent me about Phaedra because we found out that her and Pinky, there's more behind that little back and forth that they had. And it probably is because they're saying that Pinky might have pulled a pow on Phaedra. But Linda Gamble, she's one of my sister moderators, and she shares things as well. This is not her post, but this came from Facebook. Of course, we all know you can PowerPoint, put up what you want. So we have a banner running. Everything is just allegedly. It's in my own opinion. It's for fun. It's Bravo Extras. Phaedra's hypocrisy. Portia, this is Phaedra's good friend, her good sis, her freaking frack bookend. Portia has fought 4 people on the show, but still considers her a bestie. Phaedra's hypocrisy. Britt Edie threatened Kenya with the GUN. Also whips and chains. That was my favorite part of the thread. I said, oh, whips and chains. Come on, Britt Edie. And this is before the clips, chains and whips. So Britt Edie threatened Kenya with a pow, but Phaedra still follows her on IG and likes her posts. Phaedra, did you like that post where she went down to Kelly's Nana's Chicken and Waffles? Or did she do that? No, she went down to Kenya's. Drew went to the Chicken and Waffles. Britt went to Kenya's. But Phaedra is still friends with Britt, or at least follows her and likes her. Pinky only had 1 incident with a GUN, but Phaedra called higher ups on her. Okay, now, I don't know who this post is from. It's a little biased. To say only 1 incident, but the incidents with a pow is a little crazy, because that 1 incident can cost someone their life or their job or anything else that they find and hold near and dear. So Pinky only had 1 incident. That's 1 too many. We verbally spar over here. We don't pull guns on people. We don't do that kind of stuff over here on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all, I don't like it. I don't want to watch that. If that happened, I would have called higher ups on her. But we found out during part 2 of the reunion, it says, but Phaedra called higher ups on her. We don't know if Phaedra actually called higher ups on her. Andy said Phaedra did not call him. And if she wanted to call him, she could have and would have, because he's known her for years. He basically vouched for Phaedra. And Phaedra reiterated, if I wanted to call, I would. Cece was in here and brought up, well, she might have talked to the day producer. They have their own producers. So it could have been that. So I'll go through the comments and then we'll go through and see what other extras that we have with any of the Bravo shows, Atlanta ladies, including everybody else. AB says it. Pinky came off defensive the whole reunion. Yeah, I think Pinky did come off defensive. I'm going to chalk it up to Pinky's a defensive person. Add to that her pregnancy. Add to that old Derek back at the house with the kids when she said, I just feel swollen, my face. And he said, your head too. Ooh, instead of mommy, you look beautiful. Pinky, Pinky, Pinky. She did come off as defensive, rightfully so. American Born said exactly. They cut all of Phaedra's good scenes. Yeah, how can you say she's not doing enough? But really, those are excellent scenes. I can't think of political superstars that are worldwide known more so than Raphael, Senator Warnock, and Representative Crockett. I mean, you'd have to start talking about Obama or Mamdani or somebody like that before you would get to that level. So you're going to leave that on the cutting room floor, Andy Cohen? I don't know. Also, the Scotland scene, Alan Cummings came over. Phaedra was dressed in homage to him, saying that she's like Alanisha. And Cynthia was under the comments saying we had a great time. So they left that out. So I agree. They cut out a lot of Phaedra's good scenes, and we don't know why. Cece saying why. Bravo does not want the Real Housewives of Atlanta ladies to look positive at all. All we see is over-actualized, broken down, beyond the mess. I think it's true, Cece, because, okay, K. Michelle, and again, we didn't get to part 3 yet. She did bring up, we heard from Puddin', Jesus and Whiskey, so maybe she'll sing and all that kind of stuff. But why was K. Michelle, again, talking about a website, an explicit website, giving the name again? K. Michelle, if they're not sponsoring you, if you're not getting a check, why are you giving these people name? I've never said the name. I don't intend to say the name. I didn't pull it up. No interest. I don't understand why they're pigeonholing us into this. He started talking about, of course, Portia's doing Rainbow City for him again. That's a big part. And she has a girlfriend. So yeah, that's a big part of her lifestyle now. But there are other things going on the show as well. K. Michelle, you come on there as a housewife. Your husband's extremely unappealing. I hate looking at Dr. Kaz and y'all. I don't like that, Dennis. I don't like the way she told us that he's singing and swinging and hanging and getting married like Christmas under his stink scrubs. I don't want to know that, K. Michelle. Why'd you tell me that? Disgusting. My dentist would never and I have a young Black married man as my dentist, and I know he has the proper undergarments under his scrubs, and I never thought under his scrubs until K. Michelle would say something like that. AB says, I agree. It's ridiculousness. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that he wants to put us out there. He doesn't want Real Housewives of Atlanta to shine like that. And then somebody tried to use the argument against me. I was on Threads or IG or something, and they said, you'll never make me hate Portia, which is fine. I know the value that Portia brings to our screen. I don't want anybody to hate Portia. They said, Andy actually loves doing the reunions. And I was making the point that he does love the Real Housewives of Atlanta's ladies, but as Cece said, we occupy a demographic that they want us to entertain them. But the fact that Phaedra, even with her history with Bravo and being paused and telling that lie, and her and Portia doing what they did, they're both back. Candy is not. But they don't want to show somebody like a Senator Raphael Warnock sitting down with Phaedra, Representative Crockett sitting down with Phaedra. But you talking about all these explicit websites, and now Portia's, now Big Mike, that was a fake relationship. Sway's a real relationship. She's talking about everything going on with them. And I'm dipped my foot and toe into the lady pond and this, that, and the other. It's like they're trying to steer us toward only the, as Cece said, over sexualized BS. And I don't like it. There's more to us than that. And he doesn't do that to Beverly Hills. Even Drew, when she's sitting up there, oh, in your pelvic floor, if it falls, somebody has to finger you. Who's going to put that on their doctor? Her doctor needs to say, listen, if you want me to try to get on Married to Medicine and have a scene with Dr. Jackie where I explain the procedure, if someone who had a difficult birth and then years later they're having pelvic floor issues, I'll talk about it. But the way Drew talked about it, and for Andy to bring it up again and then say, I don't know what you're talking about, but, and then give this lady the floor to still talk crazy, I don't like it. Cece says, I don't care about her liking or following Portia or Britt. Pinky Toe directly threatened Phaedra, and she should believe a mofo the first time. Self-preservation. Yeah, this was just someone, I don't know, maybe they don't like Phaedra, or they're trying to show, well, what they labeled it was that they're showing her hypocrisy. I see that part of it. But again, if Britt, there was an investigation that had to be done with Britt. Kenya didn't feel it was done to her satisfaction. Britt was not punished in the way she felt like she should have been punished. Kenya took other action that they then had to go ahead and either pause or possibly fire her. I can understand all that, but Pinky, if you're talking about a device or whatever it was, Bravo softened it down to, we now know it was a GUN. I don't blame Phaedra. I probably would have gone upstairs. Hello, have a Bravo, Kiki. Have a Kiki. Welcome in. Hello, popping in for a quick minute. Thank you so much. We are talking about all things Bravo Extra. And right now we're talking about Phaedra and the fact that her and Pinky have more going on behind the scenes as far as a device that Pinky may or may not have pulled on her. Cece is saying that it was a direct threat and believe people the first time. And we don't know actually what was behind it. Some people claim they heard it. I didn't hear it. I don't know. I just know Pinky was speaking of she can defend herself if she needed to against Phaedra. I don't see Phaedra as being that type threat. But again, anybody is capable of anything. And so that's what we talk about, Have a Kiki. And thank you for coming in, supporting during the live. This is a great place for me to tell everyone, even if you're in the bushes, click the like button. And if your team replay, you have the extra feature of a hype. You only get 3 per week. Use them sparingly. And if you have any left, please let me hold one. I appreciate that so much. AB says Phaedra had the ladies at her house as well. She did a lot this past season. Yes, I agree, AB. Phaedra had one of the better events that it would have gone off without a hitch if not for Portia and Kelly starting to get into it together, and then a little hobbit running around the whole house, screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs and calling Portia out of her name, and Portia putting her fingernails all in the little hobbit's face. You can't point over small people. They don't like it. They find that aggressive. Cece says, I really hate they cut a U.S. Senator, Congresswoman, and Allen. Hello, an Emmy winner, an Emmy and a BAFTA award winner. He's big time over in the UK and also here. Alan Cummins is worldwide. So they cut Senator Raphael Warnock, Representative Crockett, who was one of the most well-known congresswomen in the world, and Alan Cummings. So I'm with Cece. Andy Cohen, what are you trying to do with our Real Housewives of Atlanta? And then you sitting up there doing all this to the sweet life. And y'all, he loved it. He loved that reunion. He had a great time. But I don't think he puts respect on our Peach's name the way that he does just for Beverly Hills or even OC. Because why are we looking at old drunken Vicky over here? Yeah, she's talking about Slade calling her Miss Piggy 20 years ago. Had the man's picture up. If I was Slade and Gretchen, I would have said, take my picture down. But they want to be back, so they won't do that. But I would have said, don't mention me in reference to that. That was 20 years ago. And I feel that she looked like Miss Piggy. And then Luann, y'all, she done jumped up and said, yes, they had called her Porky Pig. They didn't call her Porky Pig, Luann. Vicky having it tough, everybody. And that's why I feel like Nene should have been allowed to be on Urban Girls Trip. Ultimate Girls Trip, not Urban. They don't want it to be Urban. They just got Giselle and Portia. And really, Nene should have been the OG from Atlanta because Portia is a veteran. Portia's bringing the fun. Honestly, I feel like they wouldn't have been out of line to have two Peaches there. They really could have. Me too. I'd love a positive story. AB, we talk about all they left on the cutting room floor, and there's no excuse. And I know it's Andy's show, and they can do what they want to do, but we can talk about it, and we will. Because I see what they're doing very clearly. Other people pretend not to, especially certain parts of the Bravo audience. But those of us that have been with these Peaches since the Sean Snow, the whole original cast, the trashiest one we had on there then was Kim Z. And she said what she was. Big Papa, thank you. She was going with that married man on TV and raising her two little daughters that was okay. And Deborah Randall says, I agree at American Born. I think Bravo dropped the ball with Phaedra scenes. They need to do better next season. Deborah Randall, I hope they do better. But again, I think it's all by design. I don't think they want to show us the positive part of our Peaches. They just want to see the ratchet and the down low. And as Phaedra referred to it, the brokenness, the bankruptcy. He called Pinky. Pinky built $100 billion brand. And when he ushered in her segment, he said, bankruptcy baddie or something like that. No, how about somebody that put veganism on the map? Bankruptcy baddie. And Pinky, she had all this smoke for Phaedra. Pinky, you could have said something back to Andy about that. Well, no, I won't accept that as a nickname. We'll come up with something else for my $100 million brand, even though I did have times when I went bankrupt, but she was just defensive and ready to go at Phaedra when really a lot more was happening there. I don't like Kay's husband either, American Born, I don't. And he's messy. He's a messy queen too. Those are my words. I don't know if he's a queen or not, but he's messy. We saw him over there on Marriage Boot Camp. K. Michelle, Lyrica out there talking about you. And then K. Michelle's huffing and puffing and acting like she gonna bust out the room. She wasn't. She didn't want none of Lyrica at all. The ladies of Atlanta should be shown like the ladies of Beverly Hills, in my opinion. AB, I wish that they would, but for me, the reason that they do that is Andy Cohen wants to put us in a certain box, and he's successfully done it, and I think it's wrong. Now, the housewives that get on there, the Peaches that actually allow that, and Shamia, I'm going to get on you too. Shamia has so much going for her as someone who could showcase her marriage, her children, the special needs of one of the Shiloh is a special needs child, the baby. Shia, the big girl, she's over here on YouTube. She is so cute. And she's always picking up her little sister. She's over there coloring and reading. And she was getting them ready for a Disney cruise. Shamia can show like all aspects of her life instead of, we're going to get a mold done of our booty. And I'm doing a rum bum. And that's all Shamia wants to show. I don't mind her shimmying and shake, rattling, rolling, but she could show a lot more than she does as well. And then Kay, the stuff she's sitting up talking is just disgusting. Me either at American Born, Deborah Randall said, there's something about him that rubs me the wrong way. And then what she shared. Now, she's this big time Christian to the point she don't even believe in Halloween, honey. She don't even eat candy corn. But she's over here talking about she watches her husband be intimate and she's sitting back there looking. And if you're a freakazoid and you get wound up doing certain things, marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled. But why are you bringing us into it and then they're showcasing that like that's something cute? Disgusting. I don't care for that. And Kate got a lot of other stuff she could have been talking about. AB said he is kind of creepy, isn't he? Yeah, we don't like the dentist. We don't like Dr. Kasdan. Now I'm watching. I watched the Peacock version. Haven't really paid a lot of attention to him even backstage. So I wonder if they will bring the husbands out. He can't sit next to a Charles Oakley. As terrible as people say Charles Oakley is, I don't get an ick factor from Charles Oakley like I do the dentist. Phaedra is a Southern lady. She isn't a thug. AB, she isn't a thug where she would want us to know, but I bet you she could pick up the phone and call one of them parking lot payment people and let them know what's up. I'll just say that. When Phaedra was practicing in the parking lot instead of at a big executive table, Phaedra was into a lot more things. And honestly, Apollo, I think, served their time. All that's allegedly. It's in my opinion. Welcome back, Kiwan JTV. I appreciate it. She is one of my fellow content creators, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and I appreciate that. And Kiwan J appreciates it as well. Welcome. Thank you for your support. Cece said a positive point for Phaedra is working pro bono for the Standard Hobbit. And Cece, you see how quick she threw that in her face? I thought that was crazy. Now, I want to know how fast Phaedra got that paperwork together, or if she's still going to be the bigger person. We'll see. Because honestly, I feel like Phaedra has turned over a new leaf from her earlier season. I feel like she is grateful to be back. She wants to make the most of it, as well as massage as many of her business opportunities as she can, stemming from this platform. And all the other ladies should get like her. They really should. Instead of Pinky be trying to half do stuff. Now, I always give it up to Pinky for that $100 million brand. I think more people started talking about veganism and being vegan. Now, she can make it a little healthier. Phaedra's calling it radioactive burgers. I don't know. I don't eat them. But she could actually be a lot more about her business. We watched her crying in Scotland. I got a text this morning. $10,000 came out of my account. Pinky, you got to pay your vendors. The people are claiming they're not being paid. So if they're delivering food or whatever it was they delivered, of course they're going to submit for payment. So I don't get Pinky sometime, y'all. AB says, I hope she drops her now after the way she acted at the reunion. I wouldn't be shocked. I think she would drop her as a client. Habakiki is speaking, saying hello back to CC, who is one of the sister moderators who greets everyone as they come in. And y'all, you don't know how much I appreciate it. I do. Cece said, and they cut scenes featuring Apollo's unknown son getting a bomb with Phaedra's sons. Those would have been good family scenes. Yes, Cece, she was on Watch What Happens Live. And one thing I loved about Phaedra, she did come in kind of tiptoeing a little bit, being a little cautious, but she has shared a lot of her life. And that was a big part of it, where Apollo and her were not on the best of terms, even when he went over to her other job, Married to Medicine. And Dr. Heavenly stirred that stuff up with his current wife, Shireen. And Phaedra left that trip early with Shake on a private jet. Phaedra let us know on Watch What Happens Live, Apollo's adult son, that Apollo just knew him last year, I think it was. They had a scene. Phaedra allowed them to film. He met Aiden and Dylan, and they have been bonding and building relationships as big brother, young brothers. And that would have been great to have as family scenes. So bravo, Andy Cohen. You got to let us know what's going on. Why you don't want us to see more positive things about Phaedra's and others. Slade didn't lie. Have it, Kiki. Miss Piggy. Now, did Luann lie? She talking about Porky Pig. Vicky, she going to tell Teresa who looks the most different after 20 years. Vicky, other than the dimples, I would say you. Teresa just aged 20 years. Now, she has had a little bit done. All of them been nicked and tucked. Portia looks a lot different. But Vicky wants to be able to say whatever to people and not have them say back. Y'all, if y'all not watching Ultimate Girls Trip, it's only a few episodes in, and it is great fun. Again, I think we should have had two Peaches, but they sent Portia, who's representing. Portia is bringing the fun to these ladies. Y'all, she had Lisa over there crying. Are you always like this? Is this always like this? And then she gets in a confessional and is like, on my show, you got to come ready for battle. And they got Lisa over there sensitive, y'all. She's laughing. She's fun. So Baby Gorgeous is back. I think Bad Weather needs to get out of there. And I don't call for anybody to be fired, but if they're having a negative impact like that on Lisa, they need to go. AB says they would have shown if it was Beverly Hills. Yeah, I think they want to give Beverly Hills and those ladies a much better edit than they do our Peaches. where I think it's ignorant and it's short-sighted to do that, because we could have a senator on there, a congresswoman on there, an Emmy winner and Alan Cummings on there. They're over in Scotland. And then you can also have where they are being ratchet. They're talking crazy. They're in the nail shop. Ooh, was it a miscarriage? All kind of stuff. People jumping up, you're talking about each other's mama. We range the spectrum. And I don't see anything wrong with Andy Cohen and the producers showing all that. But again, I think he doesn't want to acknowledge Atlanta for being here. Vicky even says on Ultimate Girls Trip, if it wasn't for me, none of you else would be here. And Portia said, you opened the door, but we took it off the hinges and kicked it down. And Giselle had to agree, like, yeah, I think that's one of my extras when they're saying which housewife walks so the others could run. I'll put that somewhere near the end. Have a Kiki, radioactive burgers. She wanted to know, what is the profit margin for a radioactive burger? Not much, because she's going out of business like it's going out of style. 9 likes and 7 in the live. Thank you, CC. AB is laughing with Have a Kiki. Yeah, Phaedra was getting off so much. I missed some of it, y'all. I had to go back and hear that. I said, oh my goodness. And Pinky was huffing and puffing and breathing heavy. Target Sandra, Shamia needs to show her rich life in the girls. American Born, I hope that's what she comes back with. That's an extra as well. I'm going to pull that out after I read the last comment. Shamia does have a lot she could show instead of twerking in her desperation for Portia outside of Roa. I would learn how to help run Gerald's businesses. And you know what? Since he has 2 daughters, he's pining for the son. We heard that the last male embryo has been implanted successfully. So we are praying that that does happen. But I think Gerald needs to realize and recognize the fact the family that you have now is your family. It's Shamia and these 2 girls. Prepare them to help run this business. And I hope that he's able to do that. But again, old dogs, a lot of time they can't learn new tricks. And this old dog, y'all, he's in his 60s. Cece says, Phaedra used to have a line of pink stun pow. She may need to dig up one out of storage. Cece, I don't sleep on her. I bet she got something in that purse. And AB is laughing. You remember somebody knocked on Kenya's door. She saw him on the Ring doorbell. That went viral. Kenya was right out there like, yeah, what's up? Kenya was holding something for him. Absolutely. That's Atlanta. People walk right up to your house. Deborah Randall. Sharon says, Andy loves ratchetness. He doesn't want to show the positive things these ladies do. Yeah, Sharon Gubba, I agree. He does love it. But again, I think he's being short-sighted. He can still show the ratchetness. He can still show K. Michelle speaking about a website that's not paying her, as far as I know. But also, no reason to X out Representative Crockett. Why didn't you put that on there? She's one of the probably 10 most talked about politicians in the world for the past at least year. American Born says, Phaedra's doing something with Keke Palmer now. Oh, yeah, I saw it. I don't know if it was a movie, a show, or something, but I saw some of her, the pictures they took for it. They were beautiful. AB says, bullseye to Sharon. I think now Apollo has divorced. They're getting along better now. Yeah, I think now that Shireen has shown her tail and Apollo knows that she's visiting you in prison behind your wife's back, she wasn't going to be faithful anyway. So, I mean, that, and then he wasn't either. Apollo was cheating. He was cheating on Shireen with somebody else, cheating on Phaedra with Shireen, the whole 9. Luann is wearing Vicky out, and I love it. AB, isn't she? Luann is so funny. And y'all, I couldn't figure out whether she said Porky Pig by mistake or she knew it was Miss Piggy and said Porky Pig to dig it in. Because then Vicky was like, Miss Piggy, she's a Muppet doll. She didn't say a pig. And Luann was like, Porky Pig? You know, like she's shocked. You know how Luann is with that liquor smoker voice. She's funny. I think she had a little fedora on too. Luann's too much. Y'all get into that if you haven't. It is funny. Cece says, my husband chuckled when Portia made that comment to Vicky about RHOA taking the house. I made him watch with me when I have MMA for him. That's not Mr. Cece, that is not an equal trade. MMA. Because Ultimate Girls Trip, I think, is entertaining. I don't find mixed martial arts entertaining. Now, did he watch that fight? They had the girl fight, Big Lex and somebody. Somebody was telling me about it. Y'all know I work with a lot of men, and they were talking about it. I was like, I don't really watch that. AB's even laughing. CC telling we don't think that's an even trade. We don't know. But yeah, I loved when Portia said that, and it's true. Replay Gang, hit the like button. Thank you so much, CC. Replay Gang. hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Okay, let me go back to, all right, since we were talking about Vicky, here we go. So we will make Mr. CC laugh because this is what, and y'all, it's CC's husband. All right, here is what Portia told Vicky to her face. Somebody put it on Reddit, but it's just a still. Vicky says, "We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me." This is what she's telling these other, everybody is either an OG or a veteran. That's how they got their seat at the table. And the only reason it's only Portia and not Portia and Nene Leakes is because I don't think they wanted to give two peaches the opportunity. Now they'll say Nene and her lawsuit and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that's what it is. So Portia ends up saying, "You opened the door, we kicked it down and took the house and threw you out." So y'all, the rest of the ladies were screaming and laughing. I found that really hilarious. Portia said, "You have been evicted, Vicky." And look at the look on her face. Portia's smiling, but it's what I call a Doberman smile. She wasn't laughing with Vicky, y'all. And look at Vicky's face. Vicky was serious. And look at Luann. Luann, I think the New York ladies, they actually helped put the franchise on the map as well. Because I watched early OC, but honestly, I don't really care for many of those ladies. Now, I use Tamra, the baby, as "it's my opinion," because I find Tamra to be so unhinged and kind of terrible. The only way I can stomach her is as a baby, but I love the "it's my opinion," just to bring out what I feel about when I'm talking about things on my channel. It's like, you can agree, you can disagree, we can still have a laugh about it, but at the end of the day, it is my opinion. And Cece is laughing and guffawing about Portia getting that one off on Vicky. Because for Vicky, who are you talking to? Honestly, she just got her orange back. They gave it back to her at BravoCon, and I was kind of surprised at that. So she just got her orange back, and here she over here. "You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me." No, I think if it wasn't for the Atlanta ladies and then that show and in New York and then others being successful, they wouldn't be there. So I love Portia telling her that. Okay, we brought up Shamia and talked about Shamia and what she can bring. And here's her interview with V103. All right, let me put the sound back up.
We both East Side girls, Decatur girls, Atlanta girls. I got a lot of respect for you, okay? And so watching you on the reunion, my thing is like, not even on the reunion, excuse me, watching you and your time on the Housewives, I'm so proud of you, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, God, Lee, you're too successful to continue to be dragged by these girls. Like, it frustrates me to see, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. I'm like, you're so accomplished, and you know, you're happy with your children and your husband, and you know, you have every single job in Atlanta. I'm like, she needs to get off this show. So I'll say that to you. I said it. Like, you need to get off this show, because I said she's an actress. She has so much going for herself, and I don't want you to ever be dragged down.
Well, I hate that. I mean, listen, to me, it speaks volumes that I got them bothered. I got them all bothered. Yeah. And that type of pressure, anybody will create a diamond, right? Yeah. I mean, you sitting in your seat, you dealt with some adversity. I mean, your first month here on the radio, I couldn't even really get to know you because of all the things that were in the headlines. I was looked up on my timeline, and it was like, she did this, she was this, and this. And I'm like, wait a minute. I knew you to be an Emmy Award-winning journalist. But all that was being overshadowed by the allegations that were put on you around this morning show. Yes. So let's talk about it. Do you feel like you should have given up this job?
No, I couldn't give up this job. All that? No, I could not give up this job.
So why should I give up mine?
Yeah.
That's another thing that's on my resume. That's another platform where I'm able to showcase to the world my daughters, my fashion, my fun, my faith, friendships, good or bad, you know. And I would like to think that I am changing somebody's life for the better, even with talking about fertility. Yes. You know, even I took, when I was here on this radio station, I was very open about my life, my daughter's life, my surrogacy journey. I change lives, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's a blessing in the messing. And while I am not liked on that platform by a lot of those people, I'm loved by the people that really count, where it really matters. I'm a real person. I am playing real life while these girls are playing TV. And I'm okay with that. Like they say, oh, Shmi, you got to play chess. I'm not playing that. I'm playing.
I'm hearing what you hear.
Okay, I don't know the young lady from that radio show, but, and thank you for letting me know you can hear me, American Born. I think that lady was being shady. She was being super shady the way she was talking to Shamia. That's not criticism that I haven't heard from other people, but the way she was putting it, like she doesn't want Shamia returned for the best of for her own good, because what's going on the show, it's terrible. I like Shamia's answer, but what I want to see from Shamia, again, we want to see rich life. I want her to continue to, as she said, I got him bothered. But I don't know. We can't tell from the show, Shamia. You getting beat up verbally. K. Michelle is almost, trying to jump over the table at you and all of this. So I want to see her come back, living her rich life. More of what she does on YouTube. We can even see that on the show. I'm glad she's coming back. I'm glad Andy Cohen has put his foot down and said, this is the ensemble, this is the cast. I like it as it is. And I love the fact that she brought the other young lady and brought her business up, whatever that was. People were talking about you. I know you as an Emmy award-winning journalist, and people were saying you should have lost your job. Should you left your job? No. So then why should Shamia lose hers? I think a lot of people are bothered about the fact that Shamia does have all these jobs. Now, if it's going to get in the middle of her and her family, her husband, the Shilohs, the son that they have coming, then she's going to do, I think, in the end, what is best for her family. But it's not for anybody else to try to dictate what this woman does. And I don't think for a second her and Gerald have not sat down and had many conversations about it. And I think she's going to do what's best for herself and her family in the end. Whatever it comes, I enjoy watching it. And I want to see more of that attitude on the show. Cece says, the Real Houses of New York ladies get down with the ratchetness. The difference is they're not packaged that way. Turtle Time fell in the bushes. Scary Island. Kelly Ben Simone actually had to be ushered off the island, left for her own safety. It was terrible. And that Harry Dubin, one of them married the man. I think the Countess ended up marrying him at one point. They've all had to go around with him. So yeah, they are very ratchet in New York. But again, as Cece pointed out, they're not being packaged that way. So I feel like anytime we notice it, we have to speak up about it. Not saying that the Peaches don't have that aspect to them and they aren't ratchet. They are. But guess what? They can also call up a senator, and when they're in DC, he can take them on a tour and they film that. She can also call up Rep Crockett and sit down and then they talk. Portia's no dummy either. Portia still has the Pampered by Portia's. Portia went live on TikTok last night. Drew is in a collaboration with Melody Cherie. We know Melody Cherie had to leave OWN because of everything that was going on her show that she not only pitched, but created. And Carlos King ended up taking that from her. Her ex-husband is over there with the side chick that was instrumental in helping break down that marriage. Melody and Drew are working together. So there is ratchetness to us, but there's also a lot of beautiful things that they can showcase as well. So I hope they bring that up. And AB says, yes, New York was great back in the day. Yeah, they're bringing it back, but they're going to have the kind of reboot. I don't like Carol Radiswell, y'all. I think she thinks she's better than everybody and too big for the show. And all we keep hearing about is this Kennedy connection. They say that really the money's not there the way that she pretends it is. They say she kind of broke. And they say, y'all, that she's good friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, that demon that's in a minor or minimum security prison right now, Epstein's sidekick, who is procuring women for him. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. And then I might have had, this was one that I should have brought up Next Gen NYC one, but I did not. So I'll bring it up here. And this was, again, from Skid Row, otherwise known as Reddit. Who wants a cash shakeup next season? They always name Brooks. They always name Gia. This post, of course, is about Brooks. So now that we're 8 episodes through season 2, I'm wondering how many of us prefer a cash shakeup next season and getting rid of some of the Bravo children that aren't delivering anything to the show. Brooks and Gia in particular aren't worth keeping around. I actually think Gia slows the show down with her scenes. Her dating life and home life just aren't interesting enough. And at this point, she just serves to back up Brooks, who's not made for reality television. That's an understatement, everybody. He has the personality of paint drying. I've also compared him to that. And no good sound bites, no fun storylines. They showed us his boyfriend half a second, I think, last season. I think they provide enough drama, and Ariana's essentially the star and narrator of the show. I would agree with that. The entire New York Locals cast has really made the show what it is. Charlie and Georgia are just so naturally good TV. Yes, because they are unhinged while being completely themselves. Without them, this show would be mediocre, which I don't think is a hot take at all. So is there anyone you'd like to see gone for season 3? And y'all, the fact they don't mention Riley at all. Riley, to her credit, she can take it or leave it. And I think since she saw what she saw of herself, I think we'll see a new and improved Riley, but we'll see. Hudson added more this season than Brooks, and he was only on screen for a total of 10 minutes, if that. Yeah, Hudson makes me laugh. Hudson is a Nepo baby on steroids, meaning that he comes from money, from legacy, doesn't really have to do anything, but he was all in when Ariana was trying to do the clothing line or whatever it was. He'll show up for that, and I don't mind watching Hudson. This whole new white rapper thing he got going on this season, that kind of makes me laugh. Somebody said, I don't necessarily like him, but Hudson taking the private jet home early with his Zaxby was more authentic and entertaining than anything Brooks has done in 2 seasons. Y'all, that cracked me up. Somebody said, Hudson's cringe Instagram posts are more dramatic than Brooks' entire life, honestly. Yeah, he's over there fighting with Charlie on Instagram. So, yeah, there are people that they bring up Gia. Again, Gia's trying to make her boyfriend be involved a little more. Christian seems like a sweet kid. He lives at home. He's like, I'm not trying to move into the city. I don't need to commute like that. I'm living at home. I have to agree with Christian. I don't want him to move out if that's not what he wants. Gia's trying to push him a little bit. And Gia's like, I've been on TV since I was 5 years old. Waking up in the morning. Gia wants to always be photographed. Christian doesn't want that. So I don't know. I'm interested in what's going to happen with that. We'll see. We will see. And let me see. I think I've had something else that was Portia. Oh, no. Let me show one more thing of Riley. Since I brought up Riley, they didn't really bring up Riley. Let me bring her back up. We'll share this. All right. TMZ, actually. I didn't realize that TMZ caught her.
Would you be open to your mom getting married again in the near future? Well, in the future, maybe not now, but maybe in years to come. I know you've been through probably a lot of
anything that makes her happy. I'm here. But I think my mom, she's a strong woman. I think she wants to take some time to be by herself and just, girl boss and travel the world. I'm still mad, Mom, that you haven't invited me on any of your trips. But I love this for you.
I love that. Thank you so much, Riley. Ciao. We'll see you later. I was sad to hear that you and Ty were not the same.
But he still supports me a lot. He texts me even when.
Okay, she said Ty still has her back, y'all, so that's good. Candy hasn't invited Riley on any trips because Candy wants somebody that can twerk for her and try to stop and then her tell him to keep on doing it. So that's what she has Shamia over there doing. Riley, anybody gonna have the kids on a trip like that? That Candy birthday trip was kind of hot, y'all. I don't like Carol either. She could have stayed gone, but Sai's going to tear her up. American Born. Sai's going to bring up the Epstein files, and I'm here for it. I cannot wait. So I'm going to love that. Okay, let me see. There was one more. I was mentioning all the different streams of income that all of the ladies are doing. And I brought this up, so I will show you another one. All right, Portia for real. I'm not over on TikTok like that.
Having a good time, throwing things off the shelves at great prices. You guys don't want to miss it, so I'll see y'all there. Do not make any plans for Tuesday, August 18th, because I will be going live.
Oh, y'all, I had to turn it down because she's playing Be Happy. Mary J's song. All right, so she's, I guess she's selling Pampered by Portia and then also selling some of that Go Naked hair over there. So Portia, that's good. And let me see. I think she had one more thing out there that I saw a video of. And then, y'all, that'll be a good place to end. All right, it's buffering. Let me see. Portia for real. They're going to Bali. Bali, nothing. Bali with you is like nothing I've ever experienced. I love you, baby. Sway the Pro. I guess it's okay to tag your girlfriend, but I would stop selling Sway's businesses because, again, there's people talking about Sway's businesses. Some of them salon suites are not being salon suited after the people have paid for it. So, Portia, for real, showcase yourself and not so much of Sway. But this is beautiful scenery.
I wanna give you the best years of your life. You and I.
Yo, that looks like a sponsored trip. That's so pretty. Oh, they're just speaking of Melody Cherie, here she is. That's her new
Trap me, no, I won't keep it.
All right, I won't play that. She's playing Cardi. So there is someone else. Let me see. Let me go back and see if Portia had anything else before we end. Everybody come in, click the like button. I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. And that is everything else that we had going on. Okay, we'll end on this. This was a really fun scene because we talked about these ladies. So let me pull this up and then I'll read the end of the comments after sharing this scene. And then that will be it. Here we are.
All gonna fill out that form. We're all gonna fill out that form. We were all pre-approved.
Insurance.
You're gonna get 6 paperwork. No pre-nup.
We're gonna respect Vicky. You inspired our dance, bitch. You did that. I love you. Inspired our dance. Yes.
I want to buy a life insurance policy.
Ready to die. I'm ready to die. Insure me.
You guys are all so beautiful. I will not look
You're
like
gorgeous.
one.
We're not slayed, bitch. Come on.
We are all gonna fill out that form. We're all gonna fill out that form. We were all pre-approved.
Insurance.
Now, what's going on there? What's going on there is they were having a girls' night, having the pajamas. That's ultimate girls trip. So Portia starts telling the ladies, you know, this is how she seduced her lady and all this. They're in their silk pajamas. Everybody's looking beautiful. Y'all, Vicky is so insecure. I told you she's still mad at Sway 2 decades later over saying she looked like Miss Piggy. She blames Sway for all the plastic surgery she has done. Ridiculous. So that's Kyle and Portia. They're joking that the only thing Vicky gets excited about is like selling insurance policies. And they were like, yeah, go ahead. And you can see them. Kyle's little, but Kyle be working that little booty. Y'all, that scene had me laughing so loud. Even Luann was screaming and laughing. Lisa was in on it. And Portia, of course, is trying to get him to twerk and all this kind of stuff. So I thought that was really funny. Cardi B reshared Melody. Oh, I love that, American Born. Cardi B be deep in social media streets. And Melody Cherie's my girl. I love the fact that you can't keep a good woman down. She jumps right back up and goes back to work with a smile on her face. Other than if she have to pull out that red phone and start reading. I love to see her do it. Keywan said, yo, I need a vacation. Totally off key. LOL. Yeah, I mean, that Bali photo, oh my God, beautiful. Beautiful. Sharon's cracking up. Yeah, that was so funny when they were doing that to Vicky. See, Vicky is no fun party pooper. They called her a Debbie Downer, and they were right. They were really right. Keywan says, yes, that is funny on Pound, Real Housewives Urban Girls Trip. Very, very funny. Okay, y'all, I think, oh, yeah, I have one more thing. I don't know how everybody is going to feel about this because when I saw it, I didn't know what to think about it. But again, it plays into the theory that I was just talking about on how Andy is with the Watch What Happens, how Andy is with the Real Housewives of Atlanta ladies versus how he is with other shows. Just different things. I'm going to show you something that I found kind of interesting. And I don't think that it would be even considered any other show. All right. As soon as I show you, you're going to know what it's about if you've been in the YouTube streets at all. They're trying to make this a thing and trying to make it viral. Okay, that's Ziwi. And she's here with Zendaya's stylist, also Project Runway judge, Laura Roach.
To be on a reality TV show.
I do. I want to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta so bad.
What would your catchphrase be?
getting all these girls on the show was really genius. But the only thing you are missing is a penis.
Wow. 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 In the previews for this.
No. No. No, Law Roach. No. No. Set up a show. You don't have to call it Real Housewives. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Another name I've heard was T.S. Madison. No. No. The Peaches are going to be, right now, Andy has named his cast. Portia, Shamia Morton, Phaedra, Kelly. We'll put all the ladies in. No. Listen, I'm not going to go say too much. And I like Law Roach. I think what he's done with Zendaya is incredible. I love his dedication to her. I love his style. I don't think he's too mean on Project Runway. I think he has a right to pop his collar as he sees fits. Ziwi, don't play with us. No. AB says it's a no for me. And the fact that he is, and you can aspire to be whatever you want to be, but it wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't Real Housewives of Atlanta. It wouldn't even be a thing. I'm trying to think of a big name. Oh, I got an idea. Why not have Caitlyn Jenner join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Let's do that. Let's make that a thing. I'm going to start floating that. Andy, put Caitlyn Jenner on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There's an idea. Cece said, back to the drawing board, Law. Back to the drawing board. Sharon Garbo said, absolutely no. And Keywan said, oh, okay. American Born's laughing at. See, we're gonna send him right back to the drawing board. So y'all, that was it. That was some fun extras, and then that extra just raised my eyebrows and just got me a little bit discombobulated. But I will just say no. And I want to thank all of you that came in for the second time on Hump Day to join Sandra P's Gen Extra. I love it. I love it. I love it. We had a great time, and I'll get back to work, everybody, where I can get some more content out and we can talk about it some more. We loved back in the day when Lawrence and the other guy was there, and like Dwight. Yes, American Born, that's different. And Lawrence, Derek J, they were season one. Dwight came in friends with Nene. He came in as also Phaedra. He did events. There was a reason that they were there. They never said, give me a peach. I'm on here. I'm one of the peaches. No, boo. You're not one of the peaches. You're here in your role in service to one of the housewives or even friends to the housewives. They never made them friend up. So, Law, no. Cece says, please, no Jenner in the Housewives universe. Yeah, I had to get, I had to go far because I think Law went out of space, so I had to get in orbit with him. Cece says, have a blessed day, everyone. Yes, everyone, enjoy the rest of your hump day. Another great review and extra, Sandra. Thank you, American Board. I appreciate you so much. As always, I'm going to see you in the YouTube streets. I appreciate you. Sharon Gobble, excellent commentary, Sandra. See you. Thank you so much, Sharon Gobble. I appreciate it. And I will see all of you, as always. Have a blessed day, everyone, from CC, and I will see you in the YouTube.
I don't think that he's good for you. How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.